Today's class theme is circles within circles. We're going to be playing with exploring circling our limbs and our joints, building some momentum to find a little more fluidity in our movement and range of motion. Right? So we're exploring our joints in all directions and not just the ways we usually reach our arms or legs, etc. It should be a really fun, full body experience. If you're not already, take a moment to come onto your back with your right arm facing the computer or the screen so we're all on the same page. If it's possible for the long edge of your mat to mirror me, that will make the sequence the easiest. And if you're following along with music, the music can be off for now, and I'll tell you when to hit play. So from the back, close the eyes. Notice the sensation of the body touching the earth. And imagine allowing the earth to take a little bit more of your weight. So you can just soften more deeply, release any holding. And then start to notice the breath flow without changing it. Observe where the breath is in the body, in the chest, the ribs, the belly, just watching. And there's 4 parts to the breath. We usually think of the inhale and the exhale, of course. There's also a space between the inhale and exhale, and after the exhale, before the next inhale. As you watch your breath, see if you can notice these little subtle pauses after each in-breath, after each out-breath. It's almost like this moment of hang time, where everything pauses. The body is completely still. The mind is completely still. And then from that beautiful, spacious stillness, the next part of the breath can flow in or out. We'll spend a few more moments observing the breath like this. The inhale, pause, exhale, pause at its own perfect rhythm. See if you can continue to observe the natural breath as we invite gentle movements into the body. If your musical device is nearby, hit play for the first song, which is called Pay by Hammock. And once your music is playing, reach arms overhead. Take a full body stretch, lengthening from fingertips to toes. And just notice any sensations in your shoulders, in your neck. See if you can soften slightly. It's okay if the arms are not straight. It's okay if the shoulders widen. Bend the left knee, place the sole of the left foot on the ground, and stretch the right arm long. Gently push into the left foot to slow motion roll onto the right side of the body. If you set up correctly, you should be facing the camera. And then place your left hand in front of you for support. Stack the feet and just let the body soften. So you're on the right side of your body, and ever so gently start to rock a little bit forward and a little bit back, just inviting really subtle sensation into the body. And if you've done this with me before, move at your own pace and you can take your own sensation journey. Otherwise, I will guide you through it. So start by bringing your awareness down to the feet. And as you roll gently forward and gently back, notice the sensation on the top of the foot and then the heel. And the goal of this exercise is to wake up more feeling. So it doesn't matter quite how you're moving or the fact that you're giving yourself a massage. That's a wonderful bonus though. It's really about feeling the sensation as the body moves. Let's walk our awareness up a little higher to the calf and the shin. Same movement, just gently rolling. Just feeling the sensation move to the shin, to the calf. What does it feel like as the calf presses down into the yoga mat? Make your way up to the thigh and the hip. Notice where you feel the most. Maybe there's a bone pressing into your mat and you really notice that. Maybe there's a muscle that when you add a little extra pressure, it feels really good, like a massage that you'd pay $100 for. Make your way up to the rib cage. Just gently pressing the ribs into the yoga mat, the front of the ribs, the side of the ribs, the back. And then make your way up to the shoulder. Feel the side of the shoulder, the back of the shoulder, where the head rests on the bicep. Walk your awareness up to the hand and the fingers. It's okay to gently reach the hand out so that more surface area contacts the earth. And then imagine you're able to have awareness of the entire right side of your body. So instead of just one part, feel the wholeness of the body pressing into the earth. And then gently press into the left hand to return onto the back. And we're going to have a fun experiment here. Reach both arms overhead and just notice any difference between the right side and the left side. If that right shoulder is tired, you can allow the arms to come wider. And just breathe into the right side of the body. And then we'll do that same thing on the second side. So left arm reaches overhead, Sole of right foot comes to mat. Gently press into the right foot to send the body weight over onto the left side. You'll be facing away from me now. Right hand comes in front of you for a little support. Legs are straight. Stack the right leg on top of the left. Point the toes a little bit. And then just gently begin your rocking. Rocking on the left side of the body now. And depending on your constitution and how your body feels, maybe I can't even tell you're moving. Or maybe the movement is bigger. It doesn't matter as long as you can feel as you move. If you can't feel, try slowing down. Slowing down till you can really notice the sensation pressing over the body. And now that you know the pathway, walk your awareness at your own pace up the left side. Linger anywhere that feels beneficial. And just imagine, instead of your consciousness being in your brain and in your head, it's in your whole body. Maybe even beyond your body. You can see the whole big picture. We'll take several more breaths. And then ever so gently press into the right hand and notice the chain reaction of the arm extending and the arm starting to push the body onto the back. Let momentum just carry you onto your back so effortlessly. Again, reach arms overhead and just observe the entire body as one single intelligent unit instead of a collection of parts. And we'll begin our sequence. Place the sole of the right foot to the mat. Reach the hands towards the leg. And then gently squeeze the head and the knee together. Just a little half body crunch. Reach the arms up overhead once again. And then imagine there's a string from your knee to your arms. Start to gently kick your knee forward so it's pointed towards the ceiling. And let it ever so gently pull the arms up just a little bit. And now let the arms fall back down. And as the arms fall, they pull the leg ever so gently towards the head. So the knee guides the arms forward. And then the arms guide the knee towards the head. Take a few of these on your own, using as minimal effort as possible. Just trying to get a sense of the body being connected and these subtle things happening at once. The next time the arms are overhead, press the arms into the ground to stabilize you and gently start to draw some little circles with the knee. And as the knee circles, bring your awareness to your hip socket. And just notice the sensations in the hip socket as the knee circles. And if there's a moment of soreness, actually back up a little and let your circle be a little smaller. So you're just exploring a sense of stability, gentle opening. We're just warming up. So these circles are going to get bigger and bigger through class. There's no need to rush that. The next time the knee circles towards the left, gently roll onto the left side of the body. Let the shoulders stack and reach the right arm forward and then down over the hip. And then as the arm reaches behind you, let that pull you onto your back. Once again, back to where you came from. And we're going to do that again. So the knee draws a big circle. And then as the knee circles over to the left, it pulls you onto your left side. The arm circles in front of you and then pulls you back. And again, just start to feel that connection between the knee drawing a big circle and then pulling you onto your left side. And then the arm circling and pulling you back onto your back. And don't create any resistance. Let it naturally happen, right? It's like, the body wants to follow. The body wants to be a part of this dance. The next time you're on your left side facing away from me, circle the right arm around and then bring the right hand to the right shoulder. So you got a little chicken wing, and do the same thing with your little chicken wing. And as just the elbow circles, imagine the elbows pulling the heart open and then stacking the shoulders. And so again, there's a sense of everything being connected back to the center. And the next time the elbow circles away from me, plant your right hand in front of your face, push into your right hand, and then plant your left hand. Walk your hands over as if you were setting up for a plank pose. So they're on your mat, just like a normal plank. Tuck your toes behind you, and then push down into the hands to lift the left side of the body. Push down extra into the hands to lift the right knee, and hug the right knee into the chest for a plank crunch. Drop the right knee to the mat. Push down into right hand and right knee to gently start to stack the limbs for a modified side plank. Yeah. This first round we go really slow because we're just learning the movements, and then we'll figure it out and go faster later. You should be facing me. If you're not facing me, flip so we're all on the same page. Release the left hand down to your back in plank. Lift the knee to the chin, plank crunch, and then drop the knee, push down into right knee and right hand, gently stacking into side plank. And take a few more like that, just exploring the strength in the front of the body as you lift the knee into plank crunch, and then the strength on the right side of the body as it supports you as you open. Last one. We'll all meet in side plank, and then slowly lower the hips behind you. Press the hips back, coming to a straddle with the knee bent. Reach over the left leg, and then draw a big circle in front of you, sweeping the arms forward and all the way back to the top of the mat. We'll repeat that sequence. Plant the hands like plank, swivel onto the toes, plank crunch, knee down, side plank. Press the bum behind you, and then circle the arms towards the left leg, letting the right side of the body open, and repeat. Plant the hands for plank, lift the knee, plank crunch. Drop the knee and effortlessly open, side plank, and then hips down, circle the arms to the left leg. Beautiful. Let's all meet in our plank crunch. Drop the right knee, and now we'll add on, walk the hands over to the left, turning the left toes towards me so the leg is off to the side, the right knee's right underneath the right hip. Push down into the right knee to slowly stack the body, lift the arms, and start to bend gently into the left leg. Modified Padangusthasana. If the shoulders are tired, chicken wings are always a great option. Take a moment to gently bend and extend into the left knee, and notice a sense of support underneath the pelvis, right? So it's not too much about hip opening, but rather letting the hips glide from side to side. Notice the knee and give the foot permission to walk forward or in so the knee feels more supported. Take a moment to find that. Again, we take more time in the first round while you figure everything out, and then we'll just flow through these movements again later. Come to center, shoulders stack over hips, over knee, and then reach the arms up and draw a few circles, allowing the weight to shift. Let the pelvis gently roll around. And then bring the hands straight up. Slowly start to reach the right hand towards the left foot, but nice and wide to the other side of the mat. Tuck the right toes, extend the right leg, and lower the right hip so you're square onto the mat. Lift the left hand so you're twisting away from me. And then drop the left hand and gently extend the left leg. Let the head melt towards the leg. And we'll repeat that. So hips soften. Bring weight into right hand and just gently let the spine twist towards the left leg. And then press the left hand down. Lift the hips, extend the leg, and melt forward. Take a few of those on your own, just noticing your hips. You don't have to go very deep. Again, we're just saying hello. The next time the left leg extends, walk the hands over to the right. Turn all 10 toes towards the long edge of the mat. So you're in a wide straddle. And bend the knees really deeply so there's no strain on the back. Let the body just release and melt forward. And then push down into the feet. Gently press the pelvis forward. Let the spine naturally stack, reverse melting up to standing. Hi, everybody. It's so nice to see your whole self now. Take a moment, circle the arms overhead. Just let the heart lift and open. And then turn the toes towards the right. Release the left hand down. So kind of like where we just were, but facing the other direction. So the left hand is down. Walk the right foot really nice and wide over to the right. So you've got a huge space between the left hand and the right foot. And gently glide the left leg through the hole. Stepping the foot through. And then recline on your back. Your head should be the opposite way from where we began. And just pause for a moment. Man, we've traveled around the world already. And let that all sink in. You don't have to remember the sequence. Your body is just learning. Let that all just settle. Notice any sensations on the right side of the body. And just observe the breath, just like we did in the beginning. And now we'll let the left side of the body learn the sequence. And it's got an advantage. It's already seen it one time, so it might be a little easier now. Bring the sole of the left foot to the mat. Reach the hands towards the knee, and then gently start to draw head and knee together, half body crunch. Release the foot down, reach arms overhead, and then that imaginary string connects knee to hands. Hover the knee. Start to drag the knee forward so it points up to the ceiling, and let it take the hands with you. And then hands down, they pull the knee. Almost like a marionette. Just take a moment to let the hand and the knee move together a couple of times, warming the shoulders and the hips. And the next time the arms are overhead, start to circle the knee, noticing the relationship between the knee circling and the sensations in the hip socket. And the knee circles don't have to be big, right? You're just saying hello. Imagine you're inviting lubrication into the hip joint so it can help support you for our deeper poses later, our strengthening poses and deep hip openers. The next time the knee circles over to the right, let the knee drop over to the right side so you gently roll onto the right away from me. And then circle the left arm in front of you and then down by your hip and then back behind you where it pulls you back onto your back, back from whence you came. And then circle the knee one time and then let the knee pull you over. right into that arm circle, just noticing momentum as the body pulls over, how the arm almost wants to gently graze the space in front of you. And then as it reaches back, let it pull you back. Let's do this a couple more times on your own, just playing with that connection. The knee reaches and it pulls the hip. That pulls the whole side of the body up into the rib cage, up into the shoulder, and then the arm. And then the arm pulls you back the opposite way. Last one, we'll meet on our right side with our backs to the screen. And this time, as the arm circles back, bring the hand to the shoulder and use the elbow to open the heart. So as the elbow reaches back, let the heart peel open just a little bit. And then as the elbow reaches forward, let the shoulders stack. The next time the elbow reaches in front of your face, plant the left hand in front of your face. Push into the left hand. Plant both hands on your mat, preparing for plank. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. And then let the left knee curl into the chin for plank crunch. Drop the left knee. Push down into left knee and left hand. Ever so gently stacking the body into the gentlest side plank you ever did. And then release the right hand down. Plank crunch. Drop knee, push down into hand and foot to gently stack. Couple more on your own. Letting your body be more intelligent than your mind. Almost finding yourself in this effortless side plank because the body knows how to support itself. You don't have to overexert. The next time you're in side plank, gently press into the left hand, pushing the hips back into our straddle, and then allow the momentum to roll the hands over to the right foot. And then reverse that circle, plant the hands, plank crunch. Drop the knee, effortless side plank. Press the hips back, circle the arms towards the right leg. And as you get the hang of it, move at your own pace. Trying to smooth the movements out as much as possible. Enjoying the trajectory of the body, feeling each moment as you move through space. And the next time you're in side plank, pause there, push down into the left knee, release the right hand and walk the hands over to the right, setting up for Parigasana on the other side. So the left foot points straight back, right toes point off at an angle, push down to slowly rise up, and then bend the right knee, dragging the heel in a little so you have more support. Take a few bends into the right knee. Again, you can always soften, hands to shoulders. Adjust the right foot until the knee feels supported and you really feel like the pelvis is gliding, right? You're not pushing into a stretch, you're just supporting the pelvis from right to left. And then the next time the hips come over the knee, reach the arms up and draw some circles with the body, exploring the side bodies, exploring the back of the body, just again, feeling your body as a whole. Right? Instead of a collection of parts. Reach up and we'll transition pointing towards the right side of the mat. Left hand comes to the left edge of the mat. Tuck the toes behind you. Lift the back knee and reach the right arm up so you're twisting into the right knee. And then press the right arm forward, hollowing the body, kick into the right heel, lengthening the leg, and we'll play between these two shapes. So let the hips soften, reach the right arm up, and just let the spine naturally, gently twist. And then kick into the right heel. Notice how that lifts your hips. Press the right arm forward to hollow the body. And just take a couple of pulses like this. Warming the hips, warming the leg, feeling the connection between the arms and the core, the legs and the core. And the next time the leg lengthens, release both hands down, walk them over to the left, turn all 10 toes towards me, press down into the feet to slowly rise up gently, press the pelvis forward to encourage the vertebrae to stack, and then just pause for a moment standing. Take a couple of deep breaths. And then we'll come into that same pose, pointed the other direction. So turn the left toes out to the left, lift the right heel, plant the right hand nice and wide so there's a lot of space for the right leg, and then shift the weight into left foot and right hand. Gently guide the right leg through. And then hug, hold on to your left knee as you slowly recline. Extend the left leg out, reach the arms overhead, and just pause. Notice your breathing and let go of any thoughts, any question marks. If you're following along with the music, you can go to the next track, which is by Emancipator. It's called Polo Sneeps. 10 points if you have any idea what that means. And make sure it's on repeat so it lasts the whole length of our sequence. Also a great time to grab a sip of water, because we're going to be moving a little bit faster now. All right, we'll all meet in the position we started in, with our right arm towards computer or TV. Notice just one more breath. All right. As your arms reach overhead, imagine they're taking your right knee with them, right? So the knee comes to hover. Allow the right leg to be a little more extended than it was on the first round as you start circling. So the leg's not straight, but just notice if it feels good to have a little more extension as the leg circles. If you feel instability or discomfort in the hip socket, imagine the pelvis is connected to the earth and it's just the thigh bone moving. The next time the knee draws over to the left, roll onto the left side, let the right arm circle. No chicken wing this time. Take your whole arm with you and take a couple of circles, letting the arm pull the body open as the arm reaches back, and then letting it stack the shoulder as the arm reaches forward. The next time the arm reaches forward, plant the right hand in front of the face, press up, walk the hands over to plank, push down into the hands, hover the knee, plank crunch, and then drop the knee, side plank. Press the hips back, circle the arms towards the left foot, Jana Shirshasana, and then go back the way you came. We're going to add on here. So you're welcome to do it the same way, but if you're ready for a little bit more, from the plank crunch, extend the right leg underneath you so it's pointed towards the screen. Push down into the right hand. Let the left hip swivel, starfish plank. Lower the hips down. So now you're in a straddle. Circle the arms to the left. So very similar. We're just adding on a more advanced side plank. Come back the way you came. Plant the hands. We'll all meet in our plank crunch. And then either drop the knee or open the foot off to the side for starfish plank. Push down into the right hand and keep a little bend in the right elbow. Hips down. Circle the arms over to the left. And do one more on your own, either variation. Let the plank crunch connect you to a sense of strength that you maintain through the side plank and through Upavishta Konasana. Let the hands circle all the way back to the right. We'll all meet in our plank crunch. And then drop the right knee, walk the hands over to the left, Parigasana. This time, we'll go right into the Parigasana circles and just notice if it's comfortable to make bigger circles, letting the pelvis roll around a little bit more than you did before. Reach the arms up. We'll transition to the left. Right hand roots underneath the right shoulder. Extend the right leg. push down into the right hand to twist to the left, and then kick into the left heel. Press the left arm forward, hollowing out the body. And then bend left knee, let the hips melt, twist, and extend. One more on your own. Soften the right shoulder, soften the top of the side of the neck. The next time the left leg extends, walk the hands to the right. Turn all 10 toes towards me and press down into the feet to slowly rise up. Uttita Padangusthasana. Take a moment pressing down and wide with the feet. And just notice how as you push down and wide with the feet, what happens in the legs and the hips. See if you can stand a little taller without creating any rigidity. And then point the toes out and let the heels come in. And just gently shift the weight from side to side. Hands can be on the hips. They can be out to T. Just make sure there's no tension in shoulders and the neck. Start to feel the heel pressing into the mat. And again, make sure the knees feel supported. So if at any point there's like a question mark feeling in the knees, don't go quite as far into that side. Start to shift the weight over into the right foot. Find a drishti, a steady gaze point, and power down into the right foot to hover the left foot. Bounce a couple times to make sure you're not creating any rigidity. And then lift the left knee and just gently twist towards the left foot. Twisted tree. And then reach the arms forward. Let the left leg reach behind you. Just a baby warrior 3. Bend the right knee. Let the left foot come down, returning to your goddess pose. So that standing squat that we were in. And now we go the opposite direction. So bring your awareness into your left foot, come onto your right toes, find your drishti, and then push down into the left foot, shake everything out, make sure nothing's rigid, and then power into the left foot to stand tall. Lift the right knee, gently twist to the right, twisted tree, and then reach the arms forward and the foot back for just a baby Virabhadrasana 3, not going very far. Step the right foot down, returning to the squat. Pause for a moment in the squat and shift from side to side. As you shift from side to side, give yourself permission to walk the feet wider if that feels good, but it might not. So give yourself permission not to do that too. And I'm going to demonstrate something because you're not going to be able to see me when you do it. So if you're enjoying the squat, stay in the squat. If your legs need a rest, straighten them and turn all 10 toes towards me and let your shoulders be totally mellow. So from here, we're going to go back into the transition that we did before, where you drop the hand and you twist towards the leg. You guys are pros at that. But now you'll have an option for side plank facing away from me. So the right heel is going to pivot down. You can keep the left leg where it is for support, or if you're feeling strong, the left leg can stack or come behind you. And then to make our way back down, we'll actually shimmy onto the mat, and then we'll recline back to where we came from, but on the second side. So I'll talk you through that, but because you won't be able to see me, I wanted you to have a heads up. So from Uttita Padangusthasana, turn the left toes to the left, right heel lifts, right hand comes down nice and wide, and then start to put a little bit more weight into the right hand, lifting left hand high. Right heel pivots to the right, so you're on that right side of the foot, the pinky side. You can stay here or play with walking the left foot in, stacking the left foot. Keep a little bend in the right elbow. Make sure there's no tension or tightness in the shoulder. Left foot comes behind you. That should feel good. It should feel like a little relief. Push down into the left foot to open the front of the body, and then slowly bring the hips down. Hug the knee in and recline. So you're on your back with your head pointed the opposite way we started. Left knee and chest, and just pause and breathe. And now we get to do that on the second side. Hooray! So slowly start to extend the left leg and allow the arms to melt overhead. And then Left leg bends just a little bit. Pull the left knee forward, let it pull the hands. Pull the hands back down, let it draw the knee. Just do one more of those. And then start to circle the left knee and give yourself permission to allow that leg to extend any amount. And don't assume you're going to have more mobility, but enjoy it if you do. The next time the leg circles to the right, roll onto the right side. Let the left arm circle forward, back, and up. And the next time it comes forward, plant the hand, both hands underneath you, right into that plank crunch. And then drop the left knee. We'll do the first version first. Push down into left hand and knee, side plank, and then hips back. Circle the arms to the right, modified Janu Shirshasana. Can always do that side that way again, otherwise we'll add the starfish plank. So circle the hands towards the front of the mat, plank crunch. For starfish plank, extend the left leg towards the TV, push down into the left hand, let your side body open, and then hips down, circle to the right leg, just melting the spine, releasing the posterior chain. And then walk the hands back the way they came. Plank crunch, yogi's choice, starfish plank or supported side plank. And then just take it all the way through to the gentle release. One more time on your own. And then we'll all meet in our plank crunch. Drop the left knee. Walk the hands over to the right. Let the right toes turn out. Bend the right knee and push down to rise up. Modified Pargasana. And draw your circles. Let the circles shift the weight in the feet. So you might notice a little more weight in the right foot and then the knee. And then let that support carry up to the pelvis, up through the spine, the back body, lifting the arms. Reach up. Start to turn to the right. Left hand down, toes tuck, twisted lunge away from me. Let the back knee lift. And then kick into the left leg. Push the right arm forward to hollow the body as you fold forward. Modified Parsvottanasana. And then melt the hips and just gently twist the spine to the right. 2 more of those on your own. And though you can push yourself deeper, instead try to notice a sense of releasing into it as far as the body wants to release, not the mind. The next time the right leg extends, walk the hands over to the left, turning all 10 toes, and then push down into the feet, slowly rising up. Prasarta Padangusthasana. Just take a couple breaths. Push gently down and wide with the feet, getting a little extra support through the inside and outside of the legs and hips. And then heels in, toes out, and start to shift the weight from side to side. As you do that, you might notice the feet want to come together or walk apart. Give them the permission. And allow your hands to just gently glide from side to side. So there's an awareness of like, oh, okay, I'm pushing my weight to the right. I'm pushing my weight to the left. The next time you push your weight to your left, come onto your right toes, find a drishti. Let your toes just point where they are, and that's your new center, right? Even if it's not centered with the mat. Push down into the left foot, slowly rising up, twisted tree. Twist gently to the right, any amount. And then baby warrior 3, right leg extends behind you, reach the arms forward. And then bend the left knee and set the right foot down with control back into that goddess squat. And same thing, second side. So shift the weight to the right, come onto the ball of the left foot, find your drishti, and then power into the right foot, twist up into the left, twisted tree. Virabhadrasana 3, just a little tip. Maybe more as you warm up. Bend the right knee. Feel that stability in the pelvis as you open the left leg back to goddess. And let's just take a moment in goddess, letting the hips sink. And instead of going for a deep hip stretch here, instead try to feel support in the back of the pelvis, right? So there's even support in the inner thighs and outer thighs. Notice your next breath. And now we'll have an opportunity for that side plank on the second side. So extend the left leg, let the right toes turn off to the right, plant the left hand, walk the right foot generously to the right, and then stack right hand on top of left. Before you come into side plank, bend the left elbow a little bit and let the shoulder blade slide down the back so there's no tension creeping up towards that left ear. Let the left heel pivot, stay here, or stack the feet. And whenever you're ready, the right foot will come behind you for just a moment of wild thing, reaching right hand and left foot apart. Slowly lower the hips down, grab onto the right knee, and recline. Isn't it like magic? You're like, wow, how the heck did I get back to the beginning? But you did. Take a moment on the back and actually extend that leg, giving the right side a moment to breathe. We finish both sides of that vinyasa, so it means it's time for a new song. We'll go to the third track of the playlist, Moonlight Ride. And of course, great time for a sip of water. How's everybody doing? Are you excited to do it again with more finesse because your body is so smart and it knows what to do now? Yes, I see some smiles. That's great. All right, time for some finesse. So from the back, you always have permission to do it the exact same way, but you can also go a little deeper in this round, and I'll tell you how, but only you know what your body wants and needs. Slowly start to lift the arms and the right leg at the same time. Let the arms come all the way overhead and let the right leg come just as high as is comfortable. And then set everything down from where it came. And do that a couple of times, allowing the right leg to be as straight as is comfortable. Next time, hands come overhead, big circles with the right leg. Of course, you can bend the knee, but if it feels good, give yourself permission to explore this with a little bit more weight on the hip socket with that leg extended. The next time the leg circles over to the left, roll onto the left side and draw one big circle with the right arm. Forward, down, and back. And then plant the hands underneath you. Allow the right leg to be off to the side or wherever it lands. And then either come into the plank crunch or just cross the leg over right into that starfish plank. Left hand lifts. Hips down, circle, melt over to the left leg, and then go back the way you came. Let's just do one more of those. Plank crunch, option for supported side plank or starfish, and then hips down, gentle circle, melt over to the left. Let that whole right side body lengthen and open, and then go back the way you came. Plant the hands. Push down into the hands, plank crunch, drop the right knee, and then pivot to the left, Parigasana. Take a few circles. Always feel free to change your stance if you need to explore a little more range of motion or a little less. And the next time you're reaching up, pivot to the left, right hand underneath right shoulder, lift the right knee, twist to the left. And then hollow out the body, rounding over the left leg. And then let's go right into it. Walk the hands over to the right, turn all 10 toes, press down into the feet, rising up into Prasarita Padangusthasana, and then toes out, heels in, goddess squat, let the elbows soften, let the shoulders soften, and then shift the weight from side to side and bring your hands with you. Just being so smooth and gentle, not forcing anything, allowing it all to happen. The next time you shift over to the right, find your drishti. We're going to add on here. So power into the right leg. Slowly come up into twisted tree. And then play with drawing some big circles with the left knee, just like we did on our backs. Arms can come to T for balance, and keep looking, gazing at that same spot. And then point the knee forward and slowly reach the arms forward and kick the leg back. And feel free to explore a deeper Virabhadrasana 3, but bend the right knee a lot so there's no tension in that right leg. And then left toes come down, returning to the goddess squat, and let's go the other way. So shift the weight over to the left, find your drishti, power into the left foot, rise up, twisted tree. And then arms to T, keep gazing at that drishti as you start to circle the right knee, challenging your balance, but also finding range of motion in the hip while you're activating all those muscles instead of reclined on your back. And then unfold Virabhadrasana 3 as deep as is useful to you. Set the right toes down. Let's pause in goddess. Then we're actually going to do that one more time on each side, and we'll have an opportunity for a deeper pose if that feels right to you. Shift the weight to the right, power into the right foot, twisted tree. And then arms to T, start to explore the range of motion in the left hip socket. Option to grab onto the left toe and reach the right arm off to the side. And then just play with extending that left leg any amount. Make sure there's a suppleness in the spine and the legs and you're not jamming or forcing anything. And then when you've had enough of Uttita Padangusthasana, release the toe and then gently release forward. Virabhadrasana 3, soften the right knee. And then step the left foot down. And we'll actually save that peak pose for when we do the next round. So we're not going to do it on the other side. Take a breath. And then we have our side plank exploration. So pivot to the left, right hand down, walk the left foot off to the side, right heel spins back. Pause here or lift the left leg. If you're feeling really solid and strong, you can play with lifting the left leg just like we did balancing. You're welcome to grab onto the toe or just keep it hovering. And then step the left foot behind you. Extend the limbs away from your center. This feels good, but you need a break. Place the hips down. Adjust the space between hands and feet. And then try it again and see if you can open a little more. And give yourself permission to do that a couple of times, just exploring a little more suppleness in Wild Thing. And then the next time you place your hips down, shimmy over onto your mat and extend the left leg forward, recline onto your back, and just pause. Just breathe and absorb. And again, notice any sensations pulsating through the body. Breathe into that. Let yourself relax and restore for a moment before you do that on the second side. All right, here we go. So slowly start to lift the left foot and reach arms overhead, and then just tick-tock forward and back a couple of times, playing with that marionette string between the leg and the hands. The next time toes are up and hands are overhead, pause there and draw a couple of big circles with the left leg. Let the left leg cross the body and the left arm gently circles forward, down, and back. And then plant the left hand in front of you, both hands underneath you for plank. Tuck the right toes and press up to plank. Option for plank crunch. And then extend the left leg over, starfish plank, hips down, big circle to the right. And then back the way you came. Plank crunch, starfish plank, big circle. We'll all meet in plank crunch. Drop the left knee, turn the hands over to the right, push down to rise up, Parigasana. Draw some big circles with the body here, letting the circles start at the feet, right? The shifting of the weight sends the impulse to the pelvis and the spine, and arms just follow. And then twist to the right, left hand down, adjust the left leg, twisted lunge all the way to the right foot's in front, and then extend the right leg, push the right arm forward, hollow out, and then pulse between those two shapes one last time. When the right leg's extended, walk the hands over to the left. Pause for a moment in Uttita Padangusthasana. You can soften the knees a little bit, shift the weight from side to side. And then push down into the feet to slowly rise up. Heels in, toes out. Soften the elbows, goddess squat, and then shift the weight from side to side. And maybe naturally it feels good to get a little bit lower. Just make sure nothing feels tweaky in the knees, the ankles, or the hips. The next time you're shifted over to the left, pause there, find your drishti, shift the weight into the left foot, and then spring up, twisted tree. And now let's play with our range of motion in the right hip. So arms to T, make some big circles with the right leg. And then point the right knee up, reach the arms forward, and fold into Virabhadrasana 3. Bend the left knee and reach the hands and foot apart. And then set the right foot down, goddess squat, pause. Notice your breath. Don't force it, just let it come and go. And then shift the weight into the right foot. Find your drishti, twisted tree. Open arms to T, explore the left hip socket. Unfold, Virabhadrasana 3, pointed at an angle over that right foot. And then bend the right knee, release the left foot down, pause in your squat. All right, last one, we'll add on our peak pose. So turn over the left foot, shift the weight, twisted tree, smile, relax. Arms to T, explore range of motion in that right hip. Stay in that exploration or reach for the right toes. Refine your balance, wiggle around, make sure you're not building tension, and then play with extending the right leg off to the right side. Any amount so that the hips open, but you're still tall and strong and there's no tension in the back. It's okay for that right knee to be bent. Whenever you've had enough, release the toe, fold forward into your Virabhadrasana 3, and then set the back toes down. Slowly shift the weight, pointing towards the right side of the mat. Place the left hand down, walk the right foot out to the side, and swivel the left heel for side plank. Option to stay here, stack the feet, or start to play and lift the right leg to a tree or to your bind, just like you did in Uttita Padangusthasana. Let the right foot come behind you. Stretch right hand and left foot apart. And then place the hips down and adjust hands and feet and come back up. Do that a couple times until you find the sweet spot where everything feels supported and you can really open through the front of the body. And then release the hips down, scooch on over so you're back on the mat. Extend the legs forward, reach arms up and overhead, reclining onto the back. Hands can stay overhead or they can snow angel down by the sides, whatever feels best on the shoulders. And just observe the breath. Notice sensation in the body, and just notice if your body is craving something restful or if you're feeling so alive and your body is craving some adventure and experimentation. And we'll have options for both. So take a moment to grab behind the legs and just rock and roll, just massaging through the back. If that's going well, you can try hands free. Your core is definitely nice and alive after that class, so you might be able to do it without grabbing the legs. And then roll all the way up to seated. Turn to face me, just so it's easy. And start by opening the legs off to the side. We did a lot of hip opening, so give yourself a moment to just explore Upavishta Konasana. The legs are as wide as is comfortable without creating strain in the groin. And then just gently start to wave from side to side. You can walk the hands to support you, or if you still want a little more exhilaration, you can keep the hands floating. Takes more core strength. And give yourself permission to explore here. So maybe the hands come past the leg. Notice what happens to the back leg if you do that. It's okay if things change. You're not fixed, right? Maybe you notice your body starting to adapt and wanting to explore. So now we've got our options. Option 1, our more restful option, is to place the legs in Baddha Konasana. Take your time exploring melting forward, and then eventually, but you're going to have plenty of time, so it's really an eventually. After you explore the front of the body, or sort of stretching the back of the body, then you will make your way down into a restorative Supta Baddha Konasana. If you've got a pillow or a blanket you can roll up, it can be quite enjoyable to just have your heart elevated. So this is our restful option. The hips are nice and open, and you can just breathe and soften here. If you are feeling like you want something a little spicy, we have warmed up our shoulders a lot and warmed up our hips a lot, so we can play with a little arm balancing. So if you're going the mellow route, just ignore me and enjoy your exploration of Baddha Konasana. If you want to play a little bit with bringing more weight into the shoulders, take a moment to come to Malasana, which is a low squat, and try to keep moving here, right? Instead of just like hunkering in and letting everything tighten. Yeah, nice, that looks great. Let one knee drop at a time so the weight is shifting. And then place the hands down, just like those planks we've done so many times, but let the hands shift with the body, right? So whatever knee is forward, that hand's down. And just take a few gentle shifts. And then place both hands down and start to lift the hips. Bend the elbows a lot and tuck the shins. I'll go to the side. Tuck the shins into the backs of the arms. Let one toe lift and then the other. You'll notice as the head releases forward and one foot lifts, the arms take quite a bit more weight. If that's feeling good, you can play with lifting both. And if that's not feeling good, stick to one or just come back down to those really nice shifting squats. Make sure you're breathing. And once you've had enough of that exploring, actually, I'm not going to rush that because you guys look like you're having fun. Keep exploring. The world is your oyster. Yeah, that looked really nice, Sophie. Other people can try that too. Like when you bring your hips down, just give your wrists a little rest. Just let the hands release down or up as the hips go down, and play with that little like lever of hips down, hands up, and then hands down, hips up. Christy, you should try to go right into a headstand from it. I bet you could do it. I'm not going to encourage other people to do that just for liability reasons. Wow, Christy! Cool. Okay, friends, if you were just playing and your heart feels a little excited, let's take a moment to cool down a little bit. So feel free to take a little counter pose. That's quite deep hip flexion. Yeah, Sophie, you're all ready for this. Straighten the legs out. And anyone can try this. If you're in a restorative pose, this could also be fun. Place the elbows behind you, fingertips towards hips. Reach the balls of the feet forward just to lengthen through the top of the body. And then, without moving the hands, just traction them back and notice what that does to the shoulders. Allow the front of the body to start to open and just gaze up. Let the front of the shoulders open, the front of the heart open, and then just gently recline onto the back. If you want a little more opening, you can take a bridge pose here. It's a little mellower way to get the release through the front of the hips. Just make sure to keep the hips soft and swaying. You're also welcome to take a moment in happy baby, a gentle twist from side to side. You can take a static twist, or if you liked the way we started each sequence with those nice subtle arm circles, feel free to take that at your own pace. And then yogi's choice, if your body is craving any last something, be my guest. Otherwise, we will make our way to seated. We'll have 10 minutes for meditation and then 10 minutes for Shavasana. If you've got a cushion or a pillow that you'd like to sit on for meditation, feel free to grab it. Of course, you can always sit in a chair if that would feel more supported. I feel like after all that swirling and circling around, it's almost like we're giving ourselves a moment to just let the dust settle, as if you were a jar filled with water and lots of sparkles and fun things, and it's been shaken up. And now we're just setting it down. We're just letting all of the glitter start to sink, relaxing, and letting that water become clear as the debris settles. Close the eyes, and just like we began with those side body rolls to awaken sensation, notice your awareness of your inner space. And without affecting it, just observe the breath flowing in, pausing, flowing out, pausing. As you hold this space for your breath, give your physical body permission to release any last bits of tension. If you notice a twinge or a tightness somewhere, just see if bringing the light of your awareness to that space in the neck or the shoulders or the hips is enough to just allow it to soften. And then come back to observing the natural breath. We'll attach a mantra to the in-breath and the out-breath, the hum sa mantra, which is the natural mantra of the breath that connects us to supreme consciousness. With each inhale, ever so gently repeat the syllable hum, H-A-M, hum. And every exhale, repeat the syllable sa, S-A-H. Gentle, natural hum as you inhale, and sa as you exhale. Almost as if you're not repeating it. And it's just the breath generating this powerful vibration. Hum, pause, sa, pause. Imagine that each repetition of the mantra with your natural breath is not only creating more space inside, but it's also inviting more consciousness, more energy to flow into that space. Let the breath and the mantra be so soothing, so natural and effortless. It's as if thoughts or tensions just fall away. They have nothing to hook into as you connect to this vast inner spaciousness. You're welcome to stay upright, practicing conscious breathing and the Hamsa mantra for as long as it feels beneficial and soothing. You can also make your way into Shavasana at any time, just letting yourself be fully supported by the earth, by your breath. And just let everything else go. We have about 10 minutes to relax here, softening, releasing. And take one last moment to just feel the wholeness of your body. All of the parts connected physically, but also this deeper, subtler sense of completion in the heart. And as you continue to meditate or rest in Shavasana, just let yourself be engulfed by the sense of wholeness and inner perfection that is real and true in the heart of all sentient beings. Observe your next several breaths. And see if you can continue to rest in a sense of spaciousness, even as you start to move. And feel the pathway of the breath. And take your time incorporating gentle movements in the body, pressing your way up to seated. We'll all meet eventually, seated with hands at heart. Just allowing the breath to naturally flow in and out. And you are in this space of expanded awareness, not controlling, not manipulating, just floating. Thank you so much for sharing this practice. Namaste. And I can stick around for a few minutes if anybody has any questions. Otherwise,